Welcome to another episode of me and my AI series. Today I have Tela Holcomb. I will let her introduce in a second, but I'm a big fan of Tela. She actually showed me some novel and newer ways of using personal AI for myself. So she definitely is a power user of personal AI, and I learned a lot about who she is uh, in a short order of time. So Tela, who are you? Like, if you don't mind, telling your background and what is your personal AI brand domain, that'll be great to begin with.
Yeah, so I'm Tela Holcomb. I am CEO of SimplyPut, which is a stock market education company where we're teaching people how to trade the stock market, providing financial information in a culturally responsive way. And we work with fire-focused individuals and helping them reach financial independence and retire early. And you can chat with me, or my personal AI domain is telaholcomb.personal.ai. Personal.ai.
You know what? I'm actually going to do that right now because it's so much fun to gain access to the autopilot of Tela. Sure. Tela, Air Force veteran, originally from Alabama. Oh, I have a daughter who's 19. Oh, this is um Tela, but how accurate is that response to you?
It's very accurate. Yeah. I see it pulled from my professional bio as well as like just regular chat or, regular information that I've just put in here and there.
So maybe one more question to you. Did you ever saw like other people talking to your AI while you are talking to them in live?
No, I haven't had that, but
I
that'd be
always,
really cool.
I always think it's like nerve breaking because like, oh my God, is it gonna give like right response or not? Look
Yeah,
at
that's
that.
what I'm like. What is it gonna say?
So I asked Tela, what do you enjoy doing in your free time? And Tela AI says, in my free time, I enjoy reading thrillers or psych thrillers. Interesting. Where did that come from, Tela?
I don't know. It's about figuring out the clues and it's just keeping me on the edge of my seat and stuff. So, even movies that are thrillers, psych thrillers, I just love them. So,
Oh, do you do those
yes,
escape rooms?
I do escape
Ah,
rooms as well as there's actually this kit that I want to get that's it's like a murder case or a criminal case, and they send you all the clues and stuff, and you're supposed to like figure it out. And
you know what? Next time, if we are together, if you go to escape room, you should be my partner because I'm really, really bad at escape rooms.
oh, I thought you were gonna say you were really good. I can't have you if you're not good.
Okay. And then I asked, wow, your hobbies and interests, you enjoy reading thrillers and solving puzzle in free time and pilot thrillers and captivating. It's going back to your thriller sequence. That's also pretty
Yeah.
cool. Cool. So thanks a lot for your introduction. First thing that I would want to know is, obviously we are still in the early stages of the company. I'm always very curious to learn what led you to, journey of personal AI and, just how did you go about like training your AI as well?
Yeah. So I started I started exploring ChatGPT just like everybody else did when it came out, and this whole excitement around being able to get it to automate like content and things like that for you. And I was trying to get it to do that, but it didn't sound like me. I couldn't get it to sound like me. And I felt kind of stuck where I can't, because ChatGPT only remembers a certain amount and or over a certain period of time, it can't remember past. And I was like, well, how do I give this all of my knowledge and the way that I teach, specifically the analogies I use, the examples I use, and it be able to create content or help me write a book or even coach our clients using it and communicating with my team when I'm unavailable and to help me free up time. And I just found that ChatGPT was not capable of that. It definitely is good for if you want to create something using general knowledge from the internet, but I really wanted this to sound like me. and to use, different colloquialisms that I use, different phrases and stuff. And I started looking for a solution. I was like, first it was like, I guess, prompts for ChatGPT. Like, how do I get it to sound like me?
Mhm.
And prompt after prompt, I was like, this isn't working as far as like long term or even more extensive and more real, I guess you could say, like to really sound like me. And
Mhm.
so I think I started Googling about like how to, make your AI sound like you, or how to create an AI version of yourself. I think that's what I Googled. And you were the only thing that came up. And I was like, oh, let me look into this. And every word on the website was exactly what I had been looking for and what I felt like was missing from ChatGPT. So I dove in and
More about like that every word of it, because maybe those are the things that we need to double down. So can you maybe double on what are the words that were relatable that were on the website that made you take an action to try it?
yeah, so the what really connected with me on the website was one, definitely having it sound like me, but also just being able to like replace myself, or augment myself in certain areas of my life. I
Mhm.
will also say that the idea of being able to just upload my knowledge and tell it to speak like me and sound like me is exactly, I was like, that's exactly what I want. And that it's not limited to a time frame or pulling from the general internet. And so I was like, this is exactly what I need. And then the fact of it being um not only my data, but also the protection of my data. Because I know with ChatGPT, there's now, how do we determine whose IP this is, right?
Mhm.
I've seen an instance where someone created a book using
Mhm.
ChatGPT and another AI for creating the diagrams and stuff in it. But now it's a question of, can they copyright this because they use ChatGPT? And I was like, well, I want to write a book, but I want to make sure that like my data is going to be protected and it's my IP that we're using to create this book from my knowledge. And it be able to save me time. So it was also the data protection part that like really spoke to me. Instead of like using ChatGPT.
It's very good to know. Um, so tell us about your training process. I say without any doubt, like your AI is super impressive. What was your process of exploring personal AI, and how did you design it to make it work for you?
So the first area that I started to train my AI on, and to where I really wanted to replace myself, was for customer support. My assistant was
Hmm.
leaving. That was an area that I was like, I don't want to be answering emails anymore. And so I started there with creating a customer support AI. And
Hmm.
a personal AI can be an extension of you, but I created this sub AI to be someone different, gave it a name, a
Hmm.
personality, and all of that. And
Hmm.
I started with uploading all of the SOPs and processes and common questions that we already had, and had documented in our business. And so I uploaded those and started training it on it, just asking it, some of those common questions. And then as new emails started coming in, we would, pop that in there, see how it responds, kind of edit
Hmm.
it if we needed to, add in, any new information that we see hasn't been addressed with our documentation, and just continuing to allow it to process and respond so we can see where any gaps are, and be able to go in and fill those. So that was the
Hmm.
first area. Then I started to upload information, for my team. So like internal team processes, coaching, curriculum. So like, our coaches go through training. So I started
Hmm.
uploading all their training curriculum and common questions that my team is coming to me to get a response on.
Hmm.
Um, and then just, general team SOPs as well. And
Hmm.
just every question that comes into our team Slack, send it over to my AI, like, hey, how do you respond to this, and just starting to get it trained on how to respond and point my team in the right direction.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, that is super awesome. How well is the email responses actually working?
The email responses are working well. It for the everything that we've uploaded so far, it can definitely hit on that. One area that we're seeing that we wanted to kind of build upon is the history of a customer. So we're
Sure.
going back and uploading like customer history, like previous
Mm,
emails from that person when they joined the program and stuff like that, so that our AI will have richer knowledge base of each person that is reaching out to us.
yeah, that makes total sense. Out of curiosity, were you using a lot of document upload for the training, or were you using information, sending directly in the messages to your AI? What was the most prominent in training for yourself?
Most prominent for me has been the document upload, since we already had our processes documented somewhere, and video upload. So documents
Mhm.
and video, since we already had videos on how to do certain things, videos of me teaching and doing speaking events and stuff like that. So we've been mostly doing it that way versus the
Yeah,
just plain chat input.
cool.
It allows you to upload and train on a lot of information in a short period of time.
Hmm. Yeah, that's kind of cool. So on the document upload procedures, um, there are some listeners who actually dial in for existing people as well. Do you have any best practices or tips that you have found that seem to work really well for your training when it comes down to document uploads?
Yeah, so one thing that I learned from Brandon was like how you talk to your AI. So making sure that you're talking to it as if it's a different person, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, and also the use of hashtags, so that you're allowing your AI to make the connections between the pieces of information. I
Hmm.
think initially when we were uploading, we had to clear some stuff out, but it was like, oh, okay, now I understand um, better how my AI is like processing this, and how to organize and tag the information so that it makes that connection. But yeah, I would say the tip is definitely that organization piece. So give some thought to it before you just like upload a bunch of information, like how, and especially your AIs.
Yeah.
Because then I was like, oh, I want to split this out. But that's the beauty of it, though. You can go back and like kind of change that as well. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Sweet. So I picked up on one thing that you mentioned about your Slack integration, and you were kind enough to share your iMessage integration as well. So if you don't mind talking to, how you champion those two integrations, and what are the like a typical use on a day-to-day basis that happens between those two integrations?
Yeah. So when you guys brought in the SMS capability in beta, it was like, oh, I really I saw that as an opportunity for my AI to just start learning from the conversations I'm having on a regular basis. So my thought was like, if I can just send this information, even if I'm not allowing it to respond and
Sure.
react or respond as me just yet, I wanted to start to have the information about how I respond and who I'm talking to, um,
Mm,
and how I respond when I'm talking to them.
mhm,
So it was about feeding all of those messages from my family and friends, and also from me, into my personal sub AI. And so I just, on my iPhone, set up a shortcut automation to every text message that comes into me. I tell it
mhm,
to go to my AI, and my AI will draft a response, and so I can go in and kind of edit it. But it'll also get the response that I'm sending as well, so it starts to learn like, how am I talking to my husband versus my mom, because it's of course very different. So yeah.
Nice. Nice. How about Slack? Is Slack
So
more work related and iMessage more personal related? Would say.
yes. So iMessage is completely personal and family, whereas Slack is strictly my team. And so for Slack, I have not automated it. I haven't connected it to automate completely. So what I'll do is take the messages that they're sending me, and I will put it
Mhm.
over into personal AI and see how it responds and start to make some edits. Um, or especially if it's something like a SOP or a team question that I've already uploaded into the memory, and so I want to test how it's
Sure,
responding
sure,
to that in particular. So that's how I've been doing the Slack, but I think it's good to where I can like automate it at this point and connect it.
sure, sure. I'm gonna put you on the spot with this question. Did you ever
Okay.
try? It's okay. It's okay. Did you ever try to switch your team from Slack to personal AI? And if and the answer could be no, but I would want to know, like, what else would you want to see for that to happen?
I have not switched them over to personal AI. Um, that is absolutely a thought. I would I would love to be able to bring them in
Mm-hmm.
without them having to create their own AI.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's an option, right? Because for me, and I know everybody's use of AI is going to be different. I know for me, I don't want anybody to know I'm using AI. Like I want it to be as if you're talking to me.
Of course. Yeah.
So yeah, so I would want my team to come in and just have access to the lounge and the different lounges and talk.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Definitely the
Mm-hmm.
separation of which is lounges, I guess. The separation because we have different areas that will like we have a tech area and
Sure.
stuff like that. So the
Sure.
lounges will definitely give us that capability. So I think that's the only thing that I would say I would want to see in order to like, start introducing my team to coming over. Cause I've already told them like, hey, I sent them a example of like one of their questions being answered by my AI. And they were like, oh, and then a client question being answered. They were like, oh, can it read stock charts? And I was like, no, it can't read stock charts. However, I was like, but you never know. Eventually it might be able to. So they were really excited about the potential of it being able to support us as a team.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I remember my days when I asked team to kind of switch from Slack to personal AI, and it's like, oh, is that gonna happen? And this was not a long time ago. This was like only 4 or 5 months ago. And here we are over the last 3 to 4 months, we are entirely on personal AI. Uh,
Really?
yeah, yeah. So we don't use Slack anymore internally.
Oh, I love
Uh,
that.
so I mean, specifically for our focus being small businesses, um, there isn't any reason to not
To not,
switch
yeah.
over and use personal AI like WhatsApp and Slack.
Yeah.
Cool. So one final question. I would want to dig deeper into what does personal AI mean to you. Now, you kind of mentioned, there are specific words and things that you are looking for on the website, and that's what made you like dig deeper and understand the platform. What is your long-term vision for your personal AI? Like, where do you see it, not only just as a company, but generally, like your future with your own AI model that you already put in practice every day? Like, how do you foresee that future to
Mhm.
be as well?
Mhm. Um, so the words on the site were like a version of you creating a digital version of you or digital version of yourself. And with that, I saw the potential of it being able to continue my teaching when I'm not here,
Mm-hmm.
continue mentoring and supporting my team when I'm not here, it being able
Mm-hmm.
to recall memories for my family and friends when I'm not here. And then it being something that my family, it's an asset, it's an IP to me. So that's something my family, my team, my company can continue to monetize if I'm not here. And it be something that can continue to grow my legacy. So that's where I see myself using personal AI in the different facets of my life.
Awesome. Thanks, Ratila. This was definitely insightful and also super fun. And I know we briefly talked on the phone, but uh, I'm like super excited to just hop on the call with you and
Yeah.
have. So thanks a lot for taking time and doing it.
You're welcome. Anytime.